Hi, my name is Cecilia Comperatore. I am the owner of the Essential Toolbox and a certified essential oil coach. I've been using oils for about 5 years now. I started off using them because I could not rest through the night, and that was for about 15 years. And I finally found oils, and that helped me get through that. And ever since then, I have found many ways to use them to support my health and wellness. And most of all, I love using them in my do-it-yourself cleaning supplies. They're a lot of fun to make, very cost-effective, and also non-toxic for your home. Welcome to Tea Tree Essential Oil 101, the how, what, where, when, and why of using tea tree essential oil. The history of tea tree. There are over 300 species of tea tree plants, which range in size from small shrubs, or they can grow to 115 feet high, which is a big tree. It's the most diverse family of plants in Australia. They're also known as paperbacks, melaleucas, and honey myrtles. And much like eucalyptus, they're a member of the myrtle family. They were written about as early as 1741, but then it was called Arbor alba, and later the name was changed to tea tree. And it's called that because sailors during a voyage with James Cook in 1770 used the leaves to make, of all things, tea. So they called it tea tree oil. The oil glands of the tea tree plant are located in the leaves. So if you crush the leaves, you are going to release a distinct aroma. And tea tree has traditional Aboriginal uses. The native peoples of Australia use tea tree for a lot of things. They use several species to make rafts. They use it as roofing, bandages, and even in food preparation. They also treated skin issues by crushing the leaves and placing them on the skin and then covering that with a warm mud pack. That actually sounded really good to me. It sounded very soothing. But again, I'm amazed at how ancient peoples figured these things out, how they could use trees and plants to their benefit, both for their health and wellness, but I mean, for roofs and canoes and things like that. It's just always has fascinated me about how they figured that out. It is used horticulturally worldwide in gardens and parks. So chances are you've probably seen a tea tree plant. And it is endemic to Australia. Tea tree is used for occasional skin irritations, which I just gave an example of, but you can still use it that way. You can combine with your facial cleanser for added cleansing properties. I actually tried this one, and it leaves your skin, it feels clean and bright and healthy, and it just changes the whole tone of your skin. You can apply it to fingernails and toenails topically after you bathe or shower. And you can use 3 to 4 drops in a diffuser to help cleanse the air. Just as it helps cleanse your skin, it can help cleanse the air as well. So you can also use in your shampoo for healthy hair and scalp. I've tried this one as well, and it works wonderfully. And it can be used neat or diluted. With that being said, I use my Melaleuca diluted. It's very strong Melaleuca, and I like to err on the side of caution. So a lot of times I will dilute, and if I need to add more, I can add more, but I can't take it away if it's too strong. So no harm in starting out, a little diluted. It also really doesn't affect how the oil works. The fat in a carrier oil that you would dilute with actually helps the oil absorb into the dermal layer of your skin better than if you were to just use the oil by itself. So tea tree, it's also called Melaleuca alternifolia. It has an herbaceous, fresh, green smell. The first time I smelled pure tea tree, I said it smells green, because it does smell green, and it is very herby smelling and fresh as well. It is steam distilled, and they use the leaves to do that. Tea tree and emotions. The tea tree is the oil of energetic boundaries. It can help clear negative energy baggage. It can help break negative ties, as in toxic relationships. I think all of us, or most of us, could probably use this at one time in our life. It can be empowering, and it can help honor space and boundaries. The Essential Emotion book is a book that you use in tandem with essential oils. It has a listing in the front that will list your oil blends and single oils. And then there's two sections. There's a body and an emotion section. And so you can look up concerns in those sections, and it will give you oils to use to help support those issues. It also may give you some questions to ask yourself. It also may give you some positive affirmations to help you with that issue. So it's an interesting book, fairly inexpensive, and it works really well in consort with essential oils. So tea tree can be used aromatically, topically, and internally. You can use it in a diffuser aromatically. You can smell it right from the bottle. I actually do this a lot with my oils. In my office, I have a whole drawer of oils, and I can take the lid off at any time, and I just smell them while I'm working. And it's really come in handy a lot of times for me. And I like the fact that I can have something on hand that if I need some motivation, I can reach for an oil and I can smell that. And I use that a lot, especially after lunch at work, and I don't want to go back. I will use, it's actually called Motivate, the oil that I use, so I can go back to work. Or if I'm trying to push through a project that I'm not real thrilled about doing, I'll use something like that to help me get through it. You can also use drops in your hands. You put a couple drops in your hands and rub your hands together, and then you make a tent over your nose, and you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and like that. If the aroma gets too strong, you can loosen your fingers. You always want to make sure you don't get close to your eyes with your hands, though, when they have oils on them. Your eyes are very sensitive, so you don't want to get the oils anywhere near your eyes. You can use a drop or two on the floor of the shower out of the direct stream of the water. Makes like a spa kind of smell to it. You can use a passive diffuser like coasters or essential oil jewelry. Essential oil jewelry is basically it's a pendant on a chain, leather, metal, and the pendant has a pad inside of it. And you actually just drop some essential oil drops on the pad, and then you can lift that up during the day and kind of smell that. It's great for if you're in a small place or out around in public. You can also use essential oils in hot water, not boiling, hot. A bowl of hot water, you put a few drops in. You can put a towel over your head, and then you put your head over the bowl, and you inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, closing your eyes, and do that 3, 4, 5 times. If you need a break, you take the towel off. You can do it again. What I like about that mode is that you're not only getting respiratory support from it, but you're also getting support for your skin as well. So your skin's getting the benefit of the oils also. Okay, there's also an EO inhaler. It's a little tiny tube, and it has a big old cotton wick in it, and you drop some drops in there, and you can actually unscrew that during the day and use that to sniff. You can carry it in your purse because it's really portable in your pocket. They have a neat glass one that I just recently got, and I'm dying to try it. So topically, you can use tea tree in a roller ball on your forearms, your wrist, above your heart, along your spine, around the neck, on your belly, or your feet. The belly and the feet are great for kids, for babies and small children. And also the feet have a lot of reflexology points on them, so that's really great to use essential oils on your feet. And internally, yes, you can use tea tree oil. So tea tree, you can apply with a carrier oil after shaving to soothe and cool skin, or you can just use it in the shaving cream and then put it on and use it. Or you can add 1 to 2 drops to a carrier oil for a facial cleanser or a makeup removal. I know a lot of people use those cotton pads, and they do that with Melaleuca and some oil, and they remove their makeup with that. My skin's a little bit oily, so it won't go for that, but it works for a lot of people. You can ingest in a 0 capsule to protect against environmental and seasonal threats. I didn't know this about Melaleuca actually until I did some research for this class. But a 0 capsule basically is an empty capsule. There's a long end and a short end, and you pull them apart, and you use the long end to drop your oils in, and then you put the short end on the top, and then you would ingest that with a glass of water. For oils that I ingest for environmental or seasonal threats, I actually have taken the lid off. I've taken the dropper top off, and I have a glass eyedropper on the top of that bottle, so I can get the oil right down into the large part of that capsule and not waste any oil. It just helps saves it, because I guarantee you, if you're doing this for seasonal threats, you probably might not be able to see real well or feel real well. So that's a small hole in there. So I kind of limited it down by using the eyedropper. But you can use tea tree in a yoga mat cleaner or a soothing salve. Remember, it's good for your skin. So salve would be excellent. And this, make an all-purpose spray with like a 2-ounce spray bottle, or a whipped foot lotion with tea tree and peppermint. I'm thinking like coconut oil and shea butter and a little mixer and some tea tree and peppermint, and that would make a wonderful lotion for your feet. And these kind of things make great presents for people at the holidays and for birthdays too. I mean, you can make up a nice spray in a bottle and put a big bow on it with a tag. And same thing with the foot lotion. You could make a little jar and use lace under the lid and do all kinds of creative, neat things and give them to people for presents. And people like to get those kind of presents. They're a lot of fun for them. So tea tree, and I do this, I advise this with all essential oils. Actually, you avoid contact with your eyes, inner ears, and sensitive areas. You want to keep them out of the reach of children. You want to rub a few drops on your chest for respiratory support. This one I will use carrier oil with this to do that. And rub it around, and not only get the front, but get your back also, because your lungs are in the back as well. So it can also give you a double whammy for respiratory support. You can apply to the abdomen for digestive support, and you can apply it behind the ears, not inside the ear canal, not in the ears. If you run your fingers behind your ears, there's a bone back there, and it runs pretty much from the top to the bottom of your ear. I had some stuffy ears one day, and I think that's the best description I could give. It just felt stuffy. I don't know. It's like I was at a high altitude or something, and they just felt like they weren't working properly. And so I took some tea tree and I put a drop on my finger and I rubbed it behind on that bone. And then I did the other one, and I went to bed because I don't know, I felt really off. And the next day I got up and I felt fine. I didn't feel that stuffiness in my ears. I felt great. So for me, that was a plus. So a little caution about tea tree, and this is really about all oils, but I always caution people about knowing the product that you're buying to make sure that it's pure, that you're not going to a big box store and buying essential oils, because 9 times out of 10, those are not pure oils. And they sometimes can do you more harm than good. There was a big box store it's about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, that sold an aromatic essential oil, and it hurt a lot of people and actually killed some people too, because it was full of bacteria and it was made in Asia. And the only reason they knew that was when they tested it, it had the bacteria that we don't have here, and it came from there. But, oils are made for profit. So you have to be very careful about what you buy and do your own on it. And this interesting fact about tea tree, more is sold than is actually produced. And that's pretty sad, but it's just a testament to watch out, and caveat emptor, buyer beware, do your homework, please. So this is a list of all the oils that Melaleuca tea tree can blend well with. And there's tons of them. It goes from the basic citrus oils like lemon, orange, and lime to something a little bit more complicated like sandalwood or ravensara or Roman chamomile. For some reason, rosemary caught my eye when I first saw this. I love rosemary. Whenever I see rosemary blends well with something, I'm like, gotta try that one. I just love the smell of rosemary. I use a baby food jar in my office at work, and it has a cotton ball in it, and I put rosemary on it, and I do sniff that throughout the day. And I swear to goodness that it helps me so much with my alertness. And I don't know, I smell that, and it's like my head's on fire. It's like, woo, it works great. But these are, they're all different oils. I wasn't sure. I never know what people have in their houses. So I like to list as many as I can on there. But, they go from the very basic to some that are a little bit maybe more exotic than others and people might not have. But anyway, you can try blending some of those and see what kind of special blend you could come up with for yourself. It's a lot of fun doing that, actually. Sometimes they don't come out like you think they're going to come out, but other times they do. They come out, they come terrifically. So give it a shot. I always talk about using oils on your feet and the reflexology point, and this is a hand reflexology chart. Okay, reflexology is a modality unto itself, actually. And I went and had it done once, and they couldn't do my feet because my feet are really sensitive. I can't have people touch my feet. I'm sorry, I can't even touch my own feet. Just ticklish. So they did it on my hands, and it was really neat. And they were explaining while they were doing it, what they were doing, and it was really, really cool. There's a lot of places, schools that teach this, and if you're lucky enough to live near one, you can sometimes get in as a model and have the students work on you for free. It's a good thing to do. It's a good experience to have, even if it's not your cup of tea afterwards. Hey, you tried it, and you might learn a few neat things when you do it too. But if you look, each area corresponds to different parts of your body. Like right here, if you look at this part of your hand, it corresponds to lungs. And then there's a number after it, like lungs has 11. And if you look up here, there's a list of oils that you can use in conjunction with reflexology in that part of your hand for your lungs. So it's pretty neat. If you've never had it done, you get the opportunity, take advantage of it and try it out and see how you like it. You might find out it works out quite well for you. I learned a lot when I had mine done. It was pretty neat. Yoga mat spray. Look at that. It appeared. Yoga mat spray you can use with an 8-ounce glass spray bottle, and you add a 1/4 cup of witch hazel, 3/4 cup of water, 5 drops of tea tree, 5 drops of lemon, and you would shake it up and spritz down your yoga mat. For those of you that use yoga mats like me, even though I don't do yoga, I use it for other things, but they get kind of sticky and kind of funky. So this is something good to spritz on your yoga mat between uses. It'll help keep them clean, and it also makes them smell really good too. And this is an Aloe blend on the right. It's a rollerball blend. So you'll use a 10 milliliter roller bottle with the roller ball on the top, and you put in 10 drops of tea tree, 10 drops of lavender, 10 drops of frankincense, and then you would fill the remainder with carrier oil, and you would roll it on any little issues that you have. Now that's an adult version there, so you need to tone that down a little bit for younger kids by using a children's dilution chart for that. And you would just cut down on the drops of oils that you use depending on the age of the child. Questions? If you have any questions, whether you're watching live or the recording, this is how you can reach me. My email address is theessentialtoolbox@aol.com. My phone number is 239-825-3809. If you'd like to text, I love to get texts. I work during the day, and sometimes it's really easy for me to get a text because I can be in a room full of people and I can sit there and shoot a text off for a week and I call you at lunch or, in a little bit. But I find it difficult to answer a phone sometimes. But if you want to leave a message, that's fine too. I'd love to hear your voice. No problem with that. I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate, and my number is 6125349. And my website with doTERRA is my.doterra.com/theessentialtoolbox. Yes, there is 2 dots in there. That is not a mistake. If you use one, you won't find me. I didn't find myself using one, so I don't think it'll work for you either. But you can go in there, look at some of the products that we have. They have a wonderful line of skin products, starting with teenagers on up. If you live in a sun-prone state like Florida, they have a wonderful earth reef-friendly sunscreen products. There's 4 different products. They are totally amazing. They're also vegan-friendly, but the reef-friendly is a big deal. Most sunscreen products are not reef-friendly. Okay, this particular one was made that way to be reef-friendly. And then we also have a complete line of essential oils and supplements as well. It's funny, we're an essential oil company, and our largest selling item is not an oil. It's a vitamin, actually. It's called LLV, Lifelong Vitality. And I do take those twice a day. I didn't always, but I do now. And they really help me a lot with energy and brain fog and things like that. So you can check those out on there as well. And I thank you for sharing this time with me tonight. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email, a text, or a call, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you and have a good evening.